In a world seeking heroes, maybe it's time to find the hero within you. I'm Charles from Charles Whitaker Changes. Welcome to my introduction to the program Find Your Hero Within. Being a hero is not about being a hero to somebody else. It's about what we want to do with our life, what we want to achieve, not what somebody else wants us to achieve on our behalf. So we're going to be exploring 12 archetypes that have been with us since the dawn of time. And each of these already within us, we may just not have recognized that yet. So if the warrior is dominant, for example, we see challenges to be overcome. If the caregiver is dominant, we see people in need of our care. And when the sage is dominant, we see illusion and complexity and strive to find the truth. And when the fool is dominant, we see ways to have a good time. So once we are open to learning from all 12, we may experience all 12 in a single day. Or we can maybe even choose to have one come to the fore to support us. The Jung saw archetypes as patterns of instinctual behavior. Archetypes show up through myths and fairy tales in the world. So this workshop is about actively imagining archetypes, take on board the qualities archetypes possess so we can live with a renewed purpose. More than ever, the call is upon us to realize our highest powers of creativity and effectiveness. As we explore the hero's journey, we recognize that we are the heroes of our own journey. So the journey comprises 7 stages, or 7 distinct journeys, as I call them. Each of these is composed of a theme and a question. I'm going to run through them quickly to begin with, and then I'll go through each of them more slowly, just to explain a little bit. So it's meetings with goddess or hero, answering the question, who are you now? And then we're going through our trials, answering the question, where are we going? Vision quest is about why are you here? What is your life purpose? Magic flight is what do you want? Master of the future, how will you know when you have it? Call to adventure, when does it begin? And the dream, who do you want to become? So these 7 themes come to a degree from a book by Joseph Campbell called The Hero with 1,000 Faces, and we'll come to that again in a minute. They're not in the order that Campbell uses them in his book, and we don't really follow his book very closely, but it's just the theme, the idea of how a hero's journey, which comes from his book. And against each of those themes, we have distinct questions, which the 7 phases will help you to find the answer to. So it's meetings with the goddess, a hero, where you now, road of trials, where are we going? Vision quest, why are you here? Magic flight, what do you want? Master of the future, how will you know when you have it? Call to adventure, when does it begin? And the dream, who do you want to become? So as I said, there's 7 distinct phases, 7 distinct journeys. For 5 of those, in fact, there's a guided visualization. The other 2 are cognitive work rather than visualizations, but it does involve you creating a visualization of how you want things to be for yourself. So the first of these stages is meeting with the goddess, a hero, answering the question, who are you now? And I'm going to take you right up in this introduction to the point of the beginning of the first visualization, the first guided visualization. You may ask, well, a goddess and hero, they don't appear to be equivalent. So Campbell in his book talks about the marriage of the goddess and the hero, the goddess archetype and the hero archetype is the ultimate adventure which can actually happen. The goddess of the world and the hero archetype, that's ultimate adventure which is possible. That's why he has it as one of the titles in his book. let's get you familiar with the idea of archetypes. You may well be familiar with them from your own reading or studies. That's great. But many people looking at this may be coming to the world of archetypes the first time. So we're talking with feminine archetypes to begin with. There's some things which we can recognize from day-to-day life, like the kindly mother, the siren, Amazon, princess, or the witch. And we see these turning up in various ways in day-to-day language, how we speak about people. I won't do the intonations. And then we have examples of masculine archetypes, like the wise old man, the ogre, the villain, the sorcerer. And then we have some classical archetypes: Zeus, Achilles, Artemis, Eros and Cupid, Jupiter, and then unicorn. And I'm going to ask you which one is the odd one out, and you'll probably say unicorn because it's an animal. And that's true. It's also the odd one out because the others come from Greek mythology, whereas the unicorn comes from Mesopotamia, I understand. It is nevertheless an archetype. So stories are about heroes and goddesses that are deep and eternal. And as I said, Joseph Campbell, who wrote a book, and it's an amazing book, called The Hero with a Thousand Faces, identified both the archetypes of the hero and the quest that the hero falls in many of the folk tales and myths of the world. It's like 12 PhDs rolled into one book, and that was only one of the many books he wrote. It's a formidable piece of work. There's another book which talks about fairy tales by Idris Shah, which is simply called World Tales. And it's a fascinating book because I come from a British heritage, brought up in the UK, and so that's my culture. And one of the myths that I grew up with was Jack and the Beanstalk. But in the book World Tales, we find that similar stories appear across the world at different times. So, for example, I can't say this is exactly true, but for example, Jack and the Beanstalk may well turn up in Indonesia as recognizable as the same story, but with different slants, different nuances, but essentially the same story. And that's how these stories appear across the world. And then the book by Carol Pearson, Awakening the Heroes Within, expands upon the idea of the hero, and she puts that into 12 distinct archetypes. And these are empowering archetypes which we're using in this program. And each of these can follow what's called the hero's quest. And links to these books will be in the chat below this recording. So a quest is what the archetype is set out on. The hero or goddess may not realize they're on such a quest until it is too late to retreat. Fear is what usually motivates people to undergo the quest. Why would you put yourself at risk otherwise? It's also the principal danger that lurks in the shadow of the archetype. And whether we like it or not, we all have a shadow within us. We have a golden shadow and we have a dark shadow, but here we talk about the dark shadow. It's the part of us that we don't really want to share with anybody, friends, maybe even family, maybe even those close to us, the things that we can be ashamed of, the kind of dark stuff that we'd rather not talk to the world about. But it's there. So it's just being aware that this can be a factor which we might want to avoid. In most quests, the hero or goddess soon meets their dragon, and that represents the major problem or obstacle of the quest. The opposition must be overcome in order for the quest to be successful. And in the program, we discover the dragon in the form of your own limiting beliefs, or one particular limiting belief. We work on that. And that is in journey number 6. The task is what the hero or goddess must accomplish in order for the quest to be successful. Succeeding at the task is usually sufficient to overcome the dragon, However, failure to do so can lead to becoming what they fear the most, his or her dark self or our shadow, as I said. And at the end of the rainbow, we find the pot of gold. In other words, when we succeed in the quest, the hero or goddess gets the rewards of self. That's the most amazing thing we could ever have, is to have the rewards of ourself. That's in addition to the hand of the prince or the princess, metaphorically, or the castle and the gold. So I'm going to take you through the 12 archetypes now. I'm going to be focusing on the positive aspects here, because the program is about engendering or engaging with positive aspects of the 12 archetypes. We don't really want to be talking about the negative aspects so much. But if you want to explore that, obviously it's something that you may want to do by yourself. So the first of these is the innocent, who helps you to expand your positive self-concept and become your valued self. And the innocent is on a quest to remain in safety. And what they get at the end, when they achieve safety, is trust and optimism. And all these things here are lifted straight from the book by Carol Pearson. So if you want to read more details about them, buy her book. It's an amazing book. Like Campbell's book, it's like 12 PhDs drawn into one book. It's a formidable piece of writing, and it's not the only book about archetypes. But the one I recommend here is the fullest. The orphan helps you to regain safety and to open your vulnerability and self-trust, so you can discover more of your strengths, powers, hopes, and dreams. In doing so, the orphan achieves interdependence and realism. Warrior, not surprisingly, has a quest to win, and they develop methods to handle stress and resolve conflicts with integrity, compassion, and commitment to higher purpose. And the virtue they have at the end of that is courage and discipline. The caregiver knows it's important to be loving and caring while holding a clear vision of personal boundaries, and that giving and receiving is a continuous cycle. And they're on a quest to help others. But in doing so, they achieve the virtue of compassion and generosity. The truth seeker explores your horizons, moves beyond limitations of hidden agendas, sets and manifest goals, and seeks higher truth. And they are on a search for a better life. In doing so, they achieve autonomy and ambition. The lover, or the empowered lover, is on a quest to gain bliss. They seek love as an option to express aliveness, wholeness, and enthusiasm. A strong personal identity is necessary to establish a deep connection in a love relationship. As a love seeker establishes the ability to love without fear, then intimacy and caring can be created and be unlimited. And what they have from that is passion and commitment. The destroyer can be warrior-like in destroying and discarding limiting beliefs, rational ideas, and old images of self that prevent you from realizing your full potential. Your conscious mind is the director of your image and the identity, your identity. The destroyer can help you bust the old image and to build a new updated image. And they're on a quest to metamorphosize. And in doing so, they have the wonderful virtue of humility. The creative part creates new beliefs, attitudes, strengths, powers, and new patterns of greater love, success, and abundance. It's always learning, growing, and changing with the motivation to develop all of your hidden potentials. The creative wants to make a difference by creating a better world. Their quest is to gain identity. In doing so, they achieve individuality and vocation. The ruler is on a quest to create order and realize that you can transform perceived failure into success in order to build a bridge to a masterful future and become an artisan of life. Knows that true power lies in taking responsibility for creating both your inner and outer reality. Whatever you do not like, you can change. Whatever you do like, can maintain and expand. The virtue they get is responsibility and control. Magicians on a quest to transform. It's the part of you who can bring the inner knowing and manifest that into our success. A magician enables you to trust your intuition and imagination and inner guidance, allowing the trust to lift the highest of love. From a place of love and trust, the magical one engages in the power of choice to create and manifest your dreams and visions. What you get from that is personal power. The sage makes growth choices instead of fear choices, right choices instead of sabotaging choices, and wise choices instead of cunning or manipulative choices. It understands that your thoughts and feelings must be equally respected and responded to in order to know the true state of wisdom. The head and the heart become partners and co-creators in life. And they're on a quest to find the truth. And in doing so, they achieve wisdom and non-attachment. And the 12th is the fool, the joyous one, who lives in the state of the ebb and flow of joy, not constantly joyous, but consistently joyous. Happiness is having your needs met, while joy is having your preferences met, way beyond your needs. It loves by the principles of unconditional love and personal power. They're on a quest to enjoy life for its own sake. And the virtue they get is unconditional love and personal power. So that's the introduction to the program Find Your Hero Within. There's another book I draw your attention to, and it's called John Moriarty by Mary McGillicuddy. And it's a story about John Moriarty. So it's a biography. And if you're looking for an example of somebody who lived the true hero's journey, then he's a perfect example of living the hero's journey. Wasn't an easy life necessarily. He had highs and lows, like we all do. But ultimately, you might say he was successful. So thank you for watching. I hope this has sparked your interest. Obviously, if you'd like to know more, please follow the links below. And I look forward to seeing you on the program. Thank you again.